Hey everybody, Chris Thunder Laser, and I wanted to talk to you guys for a second about what is the big buzz about this machine. The new Thunderbolt coming out probably around mid-August, September. There's a lot of buzz about it, and for very good reasons. And so many reasons I had to create a cheat sheet just so I can remember to tell you. So, first of all, desktop laser with an RF source. And if you don't know about an RF source, I did a little video on it. Make sure you watch it. There are huge differences from being able to control the frequency of the RF tube to get different results, as well as the power density and the fine beam that you get with an RF tube. It's not really a good comparison to compare a 30-watt machine glass tube to a 30-watt RF machine. You're more in the lines of comparing it to a 60-watt glass tube. So if you're in the market for a machine and you feel like the 30 watts is kind of scary because it's too small or too low of power, do some research and you'll be very surprised. So Thunder Laser's entry into the desktop market. $5,000 start point. You know, you can add some accessories to use the Rotary and a few other things, but $5,000 start point with an RF tube is insane. And that's not even going through some of the crazy features. It's got Thunder build quality, and if you're not familiar with Thunder, we're gonna do a walk around real quick and we're gonna show you the difference. This is a metal housing as opposed to a lot of the other desktops, which they're made cheap so that they can be cheap. This is all metal construction and still only weighing in at 150 pounds. This is a very, very fast machine. This is 1,000 millimeters per second. Let's see what else we got. Metal construction. This could be portable. You know, at 150 or 110 voltage, 15 amps. This could be easily a weekend machine for going to fairs and other events where you're just popping out tumblers or keychains or personalized stuff like it's nothing. Touchscreen display, rotary capability, 5-phase, high speed, low vibration, low noise motors. Flame up sensor, built-in camera. You know, let me grab the camera real quick and I'm gonna go through some of these options. Very, very cool machine. Excellent starting price with tons and tons of options you won't see in anything else. All right, so looking at the machine, we have a beautiful clear lid that is easy to see into. There's a lot of machines out there that have a tinted lid that makes it very difficult to see what you're doing. Now, talking about seeing what you're doing, on our controller, our new touchscreen controller, let me go back, and we have a lamp button where I can change the percentage of lighting I want. And if you've ever used a laser before, trying to align that red dot could be difficult with a lot of lighting on certain materials. So this is huge. This is great. We have external, we have an intelligent mode where it is triggering your air supply, your exhaust fan when you start the job. If you need to have it on all the time, you can click standard mode and it actually will stay on all the time for you. Or you can have it on intelligent mode and you can set the delays. You can have a start delay. You can have a end delay where you want to make sure that all of that smell from your cutting or your engraving is gone. So we can set it for a delay and run 30 seconds after or even more time. Let's go back. Screen calibration, tutorials. It's going to walk you through some of the basic setups right in the controller, which is really nice. Lamps we just covered, and let's go back to the main menu. We do have IP configuration, diagnostics. So our lid is open. It's telling us that our lid is open. It's also telling us our limit switches and all that stuff. A lot of diagnostics right here. Let's go to alignment. This is a cool new feature that I haven't seen yet on a machine. We can actually pick where we want to start aligning our machine. So if I want to align it in the back left-hand corner, I pick back left-hand corner. I want to align it in the center because we need to make sure that our beam is aligned in all parts of the bed. So this is important, that it automatically is going to allow you to move to the position. It's going to allow you to pick the pulse strength for when you're pulsing on that tape to align your machine. And it also allows you the duration of the pulse, and you can turn your red dot on and off. So now I have a little red dot, and if I click it off, because sometimes that red dot gets in the way and can be confusing that you are aligning things correctly, we can actually shut it off right here so that we can get that alignment perfect and then turn that red dot back on. Camera. Built-in camera will work with the lid down. This camera is going to a USB hub, so if you are using a USB connection, one connection only, it is sending both the signal to the controller and to the camera, to the computer at the same time. Z-table. So a lot of desktops don't have a powered Z-table. You know, and weighing in at 150 pounds, this has a Z-table that goes down far enough that you can do tumblers. Now we're still in the processes of figuring out exactly how deep we can get this to go, and what size tumblers and water bottles and stuff we can fit on it. But I can tell you that I easily put a 30-ounce tumbler in here with no issue. You have honeycomb table. You have your crumb tray. Now the honeycomb, a lot of times this honeycomb is just placed in here, right? And you have to stick it back in, and who knows how it's going to sit. This is actually pinned, so it is always in there perfect. Let me zoom this down a little bit more. We do have adjustable air. Adjustable air is right here on the gantry. Need high volume, you can turn it on. Now, with this system in Lightburn, you are able to select your air on, air off. On this system, unlike our other systems that have the dual air assist where you can have a low volume and a high volume, on this one you can have the air off for your standard engraving, and then you have the air on for, you know, if you're cutting. There is, underneath here, right behind the head, there is a flame up sensor. And I don't think you can see it from the bottom, but it's back there. It's hanging down right behind. This is our AutoFocus sensor right there. And then behind that is your flame up sensor. That's going to register temperature changes, and if that gets triggered, then the machine will actually stop and blare an alarm at you so that you can check immediately and limit the amount of damage that could possibly happen. Rotary. We have a rotary plug-in right here, and Thunder is different in the industry. We use a separate driver, which what that means is we're not disconnecting any of our other accesses. It is a separate access. So there's no having to remember to turn it on in Lightburn. You plug it in and it's ready to go. You can also control it right here with your U button, so you can spin that cup to where you desire. Autofocus. Like I mentioned before, we have our autofocus little plunger here on the bottom. Something really neat that they've incorporated, and let me zoom it back in real quick. Typically when you're aligning things with a plunger like this, the plunger is offset from where your red dot is, and you can see my red dot is right here. Well, if I'm registering this red dot on a tumbler, and then I go to autofocus, the autofocus is about a half an inch behind where that red dot is located. So pretty interesting. If I hit my autofocus button here, it's going to ask me to confirm just to make sure that that's what I want to do. And it moves the entire head to where that red dot was located. So it moves it that half inch or so. It'll touch off to make sure that it is correct. And once it finishes its autofocus procedure, it moves back to where the head is supposed to be, its start point or its origin. Now, this screen is integrated with our door board and our TL timer. And that's how we are controlling some of our really cool features, like shutting the system down if there's any temperature change and possibility of a fire, triggering your exhaust and your air assist. So all of that is integrated with this, which also means that if you do have an alarm, if you do trigger your emergency stop button, when you go to autofocus, you're getting warnings on the screen. It's not guesswork. Our U-disc, which used to be, sorry, I just hit our frame button. Our U-disc, which used to be on the side, is now right up in front of your face. So if we have any updates to the firmware of the controller or the screen, we can do it right here. If we want to download files to the machine, we can do it here. We do have our e-stop button, key switch. One thing, this is a prototype. This is one of the first ones in the United States. The new ones are going to come with a key embedded into these, so for safety reasons, you can keep it on lockdown. Now notice that everything on this machine is labeled, and I definitely challenge anybody to find another machine at this price point or at any price point that is wired with the meticulous and care that this is. This is designed for the end user through our knowledge base and through tech support being able to repair this easily. Everything is labeled so that you can find it and we can help you find it. And you have the backing of an amazing support team that can get you fixed up quickly and easily, because we do have standardization on how this thing is built. We have schematics. We have everything that we need to quickly diagnose any types of issues you may have. Again, we have our drivers for our X and Y, we have our Z axis, we have our controller, we have our contactor, and we have a wire bus bar there for our power. Again, clearly labeled. We do have back here, hard to see, but there is a USB hub, again combining one output for our USB signal so that we have our camera and our communications in one cable. Now this may cause problems with a Mac. We're going to recommend using the Ethernet and also a USB for the camera. So your communication would be done via Ethernet for a Mac, and your signal for your camera would be done with the USB. Walk around to the other side again. We have our light here. When it is running, it'll be red, saying stop, don't open, we are busy. When it is ready to go, green light, everything's kosher. Feel free to open it up, set up your work. If it is flashing, there is something going on, and there's labeling here that explains all of that. Again, we have our timer, our door board sensor, everything centrally located and communicating with each other so that ease of wiring, ease of use, easy to diagnose. You know, we have our door sensors labeled, sensor 1, sensor 2, so very easy to troubleshoot. We have individual relays that are triggering our rotary, our air assist, our alarm when the alarm triggers, shutting stuff down. We have a filter trying to keep any of the power source coming from your home or shop as clean as possible. And then we have a breaker here, our Z motor. And in the back here, we have a small little air compressor for you, which is pumping out probably about 6 to 7 PSI. Super, super easy to clean mirrors. Turn your little brass knob, mirrors slide out, clean them up, slide it back in, tighten it down. Super easy. 2 thumb screws here, take that out, you're able to take your lens out and clean your lens. And let's head over to the back. Again, these are going to have keys on them so that you can keep it locked down in case you got any little children at home that like to touch absolutely everything. And here's the inner workings of this amazing machine, the RF tube. RF tube, air cooled, don't have to worry about water. We have our combining lens that is joining our red dot so that we can do our alignment, so we can set up our work and see where the laser's position is at. And again, real quick turn of this brass knob and you're able to slide out this mirror for cleaning. Everything easy access, everything labeled so that you can easily work on this machine. You're not sending it back to the manufacturer to get a refurbished unit. Again, this is built like our other machines. I mean, these are tanks. These are tanks. They're known in the industry for their construction and their build quality. They have done nothing but replicate that in a smaller package. Built-in fan. Again, triggers. When you start your job, it is not always running, which electric consumption, noise levels, all of that stuff, huge, huge concern. We took that into account and we made it all function off of the controller. Okay, so I just threw the Rotary in there, and keep in mind everything on this machine right now is a prototype. It's its final workings of a prototype. It is almost gold version. This is almost the final version. So Rotary, we have a couple of changes that are going to be made. I think we're lowering the tower bar on this a little bit. I want a little bit more flexibility for doing water bottles and stuff. So there's a couple of small adjustments, and trust me, we're trying to make it as flexible and easy to use as possible before you ever get it. So it's going through R&D right now, and we're beating the crap out of it to make sure that this machine is going to perform in every aspect that we expect these, $17,000 machines to perform, but in a $5,000 package. And I believe we have accomplished that. Now again, like I said before, everything is communicating. I do have a warning here that I brought the Honeycomb, the Z axis all the way down to the end. It's letting me know that it has triggered a warning or a switch and cleared it. And now I can move my laser head, and as you can see, we have plenty of room. This is a 30-ounce tumbler by Latazza. Just as big as a Yeti, no problem. Are there going to be limitations with this due to the size? Yes. Will you still be able to do some things with handles and stuff? Absolutely. It may take a little bit more alignment, but you can also, to get more area, you can take this Honeycomb out and set this Rotary down on the bottom of your your crumb tray, which will give you more room for other things. It's being designed to work on the Honeycomb, though. I'm just saying, if you need more flexibility, there's possibilities. Let me bring in some pictures here, and I think we're going to wrap this up. Okay, so with the 1.5 inch lens, there will be more lens packages. So you can buy the 1.5, you can buy a 2, I believe a 2.5, and also a 4-inch lens, all increasing the capabilities of what this machine can do. That said, with a 1.5 inch lens, let me reset this mic real quick, zero this out. And this is a piece of 18 millimeter acrylic. And I was able to cut this beautifully. I mean, I think I can get a little bit better result with a different lens, but I was able to cut this out with a 1.5 on a 30-watt machine. Insane. So we're testing the capabilities, trying to push it, and we'll push it to the point where we know we need to reel it back a little bit, you know, to make it reasonable of the capabilities that it can do. I'm thinking anywhere from 1/8 to probably 1/2 inch, we're going to be able to cut with this pretty well, depending on the types of materials. Let's talk about DPI. A 30-watt machine has a very small beam, you know, a 30-watt RF has a very small beam to start with. We're turning it down, decreasing that beam size as far as we can with a 1.5 inch lens. So we're able to produce, or so far I'm able to produce 2000 DPI and a half-tone process, photo process. So as you can see, amazing results so far. Now I'm going to continue to push that and see if we can get a little bit more DPI, but 2000 is quite a bit of DPI out of a laser. Your graphics and your results are going to be absolutely stunning for your clients and for the projects you're doing. If you have any other questions about this machine, feel free to message us, comment in the comment section, and we'll try to answer what we can. But again, huge list of options, a huge list of features at a very low entry price, and you're getting Thunder build quality, which is in my mind unmatched in the industry. Backed by a service team, which I'm kind of biased because I'm part of, top notch and quick to respond and quick to fix any issues you may have. So if you're thinking about a small desktop laser, this is it. There is no other option. If you want reliability and your bang for your buck, this machine is the best out there in my opinion, and I've seen a lot of them. So thanks again for joining us. If you have any questions, again, put them in the comments section and we will be happy to answer them as quickly as we can.